I just thought I would, sorry, one sec here, guys. I just thought I would go through some of the general energy that may be surrounding you at this time. Everyone is on their own journey. And of course, this may not be current energy for you. If it's not and it doesn't resonate, of course, I'll do other future reads. But right now, what I see here in this particular read is it's dealing with more of emotional elements. So I know this may not be perfectly in view, but hopefully you can see enough of what's happening there. So what I've got here is we are looking at the Queen of Cups, and that's clarified by the in reverse Five of Swords. So we'll start out with just the general energies, and then I'll go through the clarifiers. So what I'm looking at here with the Queen of Cups, of course, this can be you or another water sign that seems to be prevalent. And with the Queen of Cups, it's generally someone who is compassionate and caring and very sensitive and intuitive and all of that. So again, this can be someone that you're dealing with that's a water sign, or as I said, this can be just overall emotions in general, but tends to be somebody who's a little more on the introspective um, range of things. So, again, this is also dealing with emotional states, and certainly it does come from areas where you're really connected to your feelings and all of that. This is also sort of exploring some of those subconscious feelings, anything that's sort of below the surface. And I definitely would say more so that seems to be in the range of things, especially because we are dealing with uh, the Five of Swords in reverse. So there's definitely some elements here of kind of sorting through emotions at this time for you, Cancer. So again, this can represent you or another water sign that's present, but it definitely still speaks to emotions being at the forefront here. So, Queen of Cups, like I said, you are dealing with more of a mature energy. This is definitely receptive energy. So, again, more introspective, more in the area of feeling, more in the energy of receiving, open to things. Um, the fact that it's not an upright Five of Swords is a good indicator because of something more along the lines of personal growth. Because normally, I mean, this would be seen as kind of giving more to yourself and nurturing yourself. And again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, water signs, but being comfortable with yourself, and certainly on a more intuitive level, allowing yourself to develop. So it's things along that line. There's also a lot of sentimentality that comes through with that card here as well. But again, still dealing with someone that is with the Five of Swords, it's almost like there was a potential blockage, or there was a blockage rather, that has kind of impacted you in some way. And currently, you may be blocked emotionally because that Five of Swords does indicate that there has been some kind of a battle where it wasn't really something you could win, or you didn't feel like you could win. It feels as though it is kind of a stagnant sort of energy of, fighting the same battle over and over and over, repeated thinking, certain repetitive thought, things along that line. It does kind of speak to me where there has been some kind of impeding spiritual lack, as though you weren't able to get to that place of healing or get to that place of emotional connection and groundedness and things along that line, where you weren't able to you know you weren't able to tap into your intuitive self enough to be able to get past something, and the battle seems to have kind of felt like you're stuck in a repeating cycle. So it's something along that line is kind of where I would say this was initially, or is initially, something that you might be dealing with. There's definitely something that comes through here with areas of depression or low emotional state, and certainly wanting to move ahead in with more growth, obviously, because with the Two of Wands, and again that's sort of blocked there, but with the Two of Wands next to the Eight of Wands, I mean, there's action that's coming through here that does indicate that you're breaking free from that, whether you're fully aware of that or not. You are moving, you're in that energy. So again, you're all going to be moving through it at different rates. It doesn't necessarily mean it's within the week, everything all of a sudden transitions, but it's certainly you're in the energy of starting to dabble into that that realm. Twos definitely can speak to partnerships or alliances or any kind of balancing that comes through that you're needing to make a decision on. So some kind of a decision is kind of at, you're moving into that space where you're about to begin something. And believe it or not, with that Eight of Wands following, it's energizing and moving a lot faster than I think you expect it to. So it seems like you're moving through this emotional negativity or this emotional feeling of being quite left out and depressed and not feeling a lot of hope. It feels like you're moving past that here much more rapidly than I think you expect it to. Like I said, the eights are all about kind of putting things into kind of a regenerative spirit because there's a lot more forward momentum. And this definitely feels like you are starting to reevaluate things and really put things together a lot faster. And then, and in doing so, you're going to be able to have more of a release emotionally. And that's exactly what's happening because you're currently still in that energy where there's a bit of a lack here, but again, it's speeding up. And as we get further out, this is the Four of Cups in reverse. So yes, I did combine two decks there. So that's why you've got a repeating card. But again, even with the Knight of Wands, this could be dealing with a younger person, 20s, 30s, something along that line. But the Knight of Cups as well is still forward moving action. However, it is in a space of, I mean, the Knights, like I said, are action, but the Knight of Cups is in reverse. So I'm not saying that there is no action, but there may be a little bit of a slowdown of sorts here in some way. Because, like I said, Knight of Cups is generally 20s to 30s, like I said, something in around that range as far as who you might be dealing with. It is dealing with sort of an emotional state here also. But again, normally with Knight of Cups, when it's in an upright position, it's got more of an emotionally rapid sort of development where you're really focused on the emotion and you're definitely ready for some kind of new experience and, ready to go all in sort of this path with a heart or something along that line. But because this is in reverse, it's almost like you're not quite in that space. There's a certain element of, I don't know if I would say necessarily stubbornness exactly, but there is a resistance for sure. Like I said, Knight of Cups next to the Four of Cups. I mean, it's all emotion. But like I said, in more of a reverse sense here is what I would kind of venture to say is what you're dealing with because it's not along the lines of advancing. Something is coming in quickly. That's kind of drawing attention to getting ready to move into some solid action here. It's just not quite in that space yet. So anyway, we'll kind of get right into just sort of debating here for half a second because like I said, so I'm just kind of looking at your cards here for just a second longer here. The thing about, like I said, the thing about the Knight of Cups in reverse, it just feels as though you're not ready to approach that emotional state and deal with it just yet. It's almost like that. You're just not ready to fully approach it. You're rapidly coming into a space where you're ready to, feel like you want to move forward, but you're still in this lingering space of not really quite ready to deal with the issues yet. So I would just say for the moment that you're going through something that you're still trying to work out. Anyway, I'm going to tie this all in together here, but I'm just going to kind of leave it there for the second, and then I'm going to tie everything else in. So like I said, Knight of Cups in reverse kind of speaks to me as though you're not quite ready for jumping into romance or jumping into anything emotional. It feels like there's just a little bit too much moodiness going on here with that Four of Cups in reverse. And next to the Four of Cups, they're very close together. So it's almost like something is just not quite realistic. You know, you're not ready to fully approach that yet because you're just not in the headspace. You just don't see the direction of your emotions yet. You don't know how to kind of reinvigorate your emotional state just yet. You kind of have to wait for the cues and the answers. And of course, that's why we have the Queen of Cups, because that's really what she speaks to is, trying to get in touch with your intuitive emotional states. So it's something in that space right now. Okay, so, and again, even when we get to the Four of Cups in reverse, like I said, I mean, you're still in a space of trying to deal with something because you've got two cards here. Um, two cards of this being very emotionally impactful for you. So the first one, like I said, the Four of Cups in itself, is feeling a little bit of lack. You're still not feeling like you've got a lot of motivation or, anything along that line. It's starting to pick up a little bit more though, because it is coming in. You're still in retreat mode is kind of where that is, um, where your emotions are at this time. And I just feel like, you're not ready to notice all again, the cues or the things that would help you to move ahead. You're more reluctant to move forward right now emotionally. You don't want to express your feelings. You don't want to, you're kind of choosing to withdraw and isolate for the moment. And again, there's kind of a little bit of a lesson there that you're trying to also figure out what it is that you really want. And once you do that, then you can start to create routines or habits or things around that help you to really kind of dive into things that invigorate you and really make you feel alive again. But right now, I feel like the solution is really to kind of let go of maybe a preconceived idea of how you feel things should be or you should be, or emotionally how things should be turning out. Let go of that idea and just kind of allow yourself to open up to new possibilities and opportunities, things along that line. Because there's kind of a bit of a stagnant element here. But again, there is also a bit of a breakaway element. So it's almost like you're ready to go forward and you're quickly getting through this Four of Cups energy. You're quickly getting into that space of what you consider missed opportunities, what you consider to be stagnancy. You're rapidly starting to see something that is giving you a little bit more of an answer or more of a direction. And you're kind of starting to move away from that apathetic, sort of isolating sort of feeling, or that depression or that boredom or whatever. You're not quite in the space of ready to feel your emotions and all of that by any stretch here, but because you're still in a little bit of resistance and choosing not to look at the actions that would help you to get you out of that regretful state or that feeling of missing or lacking something. Your energy is not quite there emotionally. Physically, you might have some energy that's ready to kind of push forward, but emotionally, you're not ready to maybe let things in or let people in or let something really touch your heart in some way. So it's kind of where you're just the general energy around you anyway. So that's what I would say is what you are currently sort of dealing with, and we'll just flesh it out as a recap here. Okay, so again, we've got the Two of Wands next to the Eight of Wands, as I mentioned, so that does symbolize some sense of planning and organizing that you're trying to put forward here. Something is kind of looming on the horizon here with the cards, and it definitely does indicate that there is going to be some kind of, increased movement, because the Eight of Wands is rapid movement. So it's also progress that can't be stopped, because it does represent that there is going to be some kind of immediate action that you're going to have to take, because something is coming in to sort of, maybe that you've been planning, but something is rapidly coming in that's going to force you to kind of start picking up your vision again, or start, picking up your energy again to move into this new direction. And you are going to have to act quickly. So again, you have to seize the day, all of that. Again, with the Two of Wands, it does indicate that you are planning for something here, and there is a certain sense of urgency in moving on it. So I feel like something is about to arrive here, which is probably why emotionally you're not feeling like you're ready for something here, but yet at the same token, it's almost like you pretty much have to jump in and kind of take handle of that scenario. So, like I said, there's something coming in here up ahead. When we get to the, yeah, like I said, Eight of Wands, Four of Cups, definitely you're ready to consider something here. And whatever this situation is, it is definitely going to represent a little bit of a challenge for you. Emotionally, you're going to have to invest in yourself again, or invest in something that, kind of picks up the action, but you're still in introspection and that self-reflection kind of mode right now. So it's hard maybe to kind of start moving forward, but something's going to come in here very shortly that's going to, again, push you in a certain direction, which is pretty clear that there is a direction. And it's something that I feel is some planning has been around, but again, um, kind of almost have to act on it pretty rapidly. Like, it's, if this is a job offer or something, then it's, yeah, take it. It's that kind of feeling. It's a deliberate choice of some sort that's moving here in front of you. Um, there's also, like I said, with that Queen of Cups energy there too. I mean, the Queen of Cups with the Queen of Cups, like I said, with that the. Sorry, I was trying to figure out the Five of Swords, because, like I say, Five of Swords in reverse does really speak to not really winning a battle of some sort. I mean, it's almost like there's a certain element of stagnancy there, but it's almost like it's kind of cycling through something repeatedly here emotionally, that you're kind of putting yourself through. So, like I said, it's kind of mulling over something repeatedly is really what I would say there. um yeah, I'm just checking to see if there's anything else there that kind of stands out. For the most part, I think that is probably the main energies. But again, even just with the Five of Swords in reverse, I just feel like there is an element of maybe forgiving and forgetting, something like that, that's sort of required here, enable for you to move forward and kind of open up and be more free in your heart space. But I feel like, again, there's been conflict, there's been harsh words, there's been something here, but you're ready to move toward a more positive change, and you need to kind of bring your energy forward with that. So hanging on to extra emotional baggage is just going to weigh you down and take longer to get there. So unless you got a lot of time on your hands, it's probably better to try to, I'm not saying block the emotions, but accept that there's some things you just can't have full control over, and allow for some level of compromise, and able to release the stress around the situation. So just basically looking at it from, approaching it with a new mindset, breaking the situation down to things that you can accept about it, and you don't have to be in agreement with everything, but you'll be a lot freer if you can find a way to overcome the obstacles with more of a cooperative mindset, so that you actually relieve some of the tension. And again, that's so that you can move forward with a freer mindset. And honestly, we tend to outgrow old ways of thinking when we have a new way of thinking. So it's opening yourself up to, new schemas, new frames of mind, so that you can, there's another word, like new concepts, new concepts, new schemas, that kind of thing, so that you actually can start to grow past whatever your old idea was. Because when you have an old belief system, and it's keeping you stuck, it's time to introduce some new elements. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it. But you do have something coming in here pretty quickly. And like I said, even though you're emotionally still a little bit closed off here, You're still in a very intuitive space. There is going to be something that comes in here pretty rapidly that's going to require you to make a quick decision about something. And like I said, that Four of Swords, sorry, Four of Cups in reverse definitely indicates to me that there is going to be something here that you're going to have to, um, you have to move on. You're going to have to move on and release something here. I mean, I'm not seeing specifically any kind of sacrifice cards or anything like that, but it definitely speaks to there being a lot of emotion, heavy emotion that you're still dealing with. And it feels like it's more depression or things along that line where you're just a low ebb. But as I said, when we get down to that Four of Cups, and I think that card, because that has been double carded, again, you're feeling more withdrawn and isolated. But I think that stagnation is going to come to an end in this next little bit because, like I said, the advice really is to open yourself up, open up your heart. You know, it's okay to withdraw and isolate if you're making progress, but not to shelter yourself and shield yourself because that closes you down and it impacts you in a very negative way because then your needs are not being met and it just cycles around to negativity. But when you are introducing new elements that certainly could still hurt you, you can also see it from the point of view that you could also feel better and be more positive. So it's there was something that I heard from, it was actually another psychiatrist that was talking about happiness. And he says generally what they try to do is to get people into a new way of thinking. It's not about the emotions so much as it is about the thoughts. So by virtue of changing your thoughts, you'll be able to change your emotions. So I'm going to leave it at that. Take care, Cancer. Keep moving forward and never give up.